Hi everyone and welcome to episode 134 of the Talk is Cheap show. We've got a great show lined up for you today, one I'm sure you're going to enjoy. But before we get into the show, time to reintroduce you to a man who I'm sure you all know, but it would be remiss of me not to give him the introduction he deserves. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please put your hands together and give a big digital round of applause for Mr. Curtis Shaw of Curtis Shaw TV in-house. What are you saying, bro?
What's happening, bro?
Well, go on.
Great intro as always.
And we've also got Mini Curtis in the house. Cruz.
Yeah, Cruz is here. Yeah.
In the Arsenal top as well.
Yeah,
Very impressed. And he's just come off the back of a goal-scoring performance today. Am I right?
Goal this
Tell
morning.
the people, man.
Yeah, good goal. He had a game against Luton today.
So who's he playing for?
He's playing for Cambridge.
Oh, big up, man.
Scored.
Big up,
good
big
goal.
up Cruz.
Little drilled shot, bottom corner. So yeah.
Yeah, man, keeping it in the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how are you?
I'm good, man. You know, the weather's nice and nice chilled time. And we're top of the league, high flying. You know, we're just looking down on everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Have to enjoy it.
Taking the carnival over the weekend?
Yeah, I didn't go, you know.
You didn't?
I didn't go, no, I was busy, but I seen you and Robbie there rolling back the years, you know what I mean? Sovereign sound. I thought you might have been playing there, DJ.
Actually, I had a few people come up to me yesterday asking me about that.
Yeah.
But you know what, man? It was blessed, man. It was
Yeah.
a really good day out. It was myself, Robbie, shout out to Robbie, obviously. Who else went?
Cecil.
Cecil.
I saw Ty,
and Kaz.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went down there, man, and boy, I got to say, man, Robbie was getting beer love.
I can imagine.
Beer love.
Yeah,
when I say beer love, you know,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like, it was ridiculous.
every few
It
steps.
must have taken us, at times, minutes just to walk a few yards.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Everybody wanting selfies, everybody wanted to talk to him. It was really like heartwarming for me to see that, man, because, you know what I mean, like, the appreciation for the channel, and not just an AFTV thing, for fan channels as well.
Yeah.
People are making the point that it's so good to see, you know what I mean, that space is doing so well, and obviously Robbie's one of the pioneers of it.
Of course.
And people were coming up to him and saying, listen, man, I'm a Tottenham fan, but I watch your channel, I appreciate what you do, I love the team, keep up the good work, don't let the haters get to you, and you know what I mean, it was really good.
Yeah,
and,
man.
and I have to say, the behaviour of the people at the carnival, I mean, I know there's been reports this morning of some trouble, and there was a young man that I hear was stabbed to death, so condolences to that young man and his family and friends, but for the most part, the behaviour that I saw was pretty outstanding. You know what I mean? I didn't see any. In fact, I was saying to my brother, I didn't even see an argument.
Yeah.
Even when there was a little bit of pushing, you know, so many people, they're trying to get through the crowds, and there's a little bit of pushing, then all of a sudden you hear a voice from nowhere say, yes, stop the pushing, let the ladies through. So when I heard about the stabbing last night, I was surprised, because that was not in keeping with what I saw. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Shout out to the organisers and the people that attended, man. I've got to say that. I know it sounds kind of incongruous in the light of what's happened with the stabbing, but honestly, I mean, when you consider that would have been 2 million plus people attended over the weekend, I think there was like 30 odd arrests, so given the size of it, but so yeah, man, I enjoyed it. Right, okay, let's crack on, shall we? News and notes. News and notes for people who don't normally watch the show is just where we look at matters that have appeared in the news that are deemed relevant, and there's a few this week, so I'll move swiftly on. The first we've got to talk about is the news I woke up to today. Scott Parker, first casualty.
Scotty P.
Yeah, man. No more Tom Brown jackets.
Nah, no more nice cardigans, you know what I mean? Man's gone.
Man's gone, brethren. I was shocked, you know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we've seen other managers lose 9-0 before. I think Hassan lost 9-0 and they stuck with him. But I think that interview after the game ruffled a few feathers. He was basically saying, I got him promoted. The chairman ain't really bought no one, you know. We need a... And the chairman's probably thought, 9-0, then you've called me out, you know. There's your P45.
Yeah, because I noticed that the statement that was released by the club contained the words respect.
Yeah, as if it was disrespectful comments.
He obviously felt that Scott Parker tried to pull his pants down a little bit in that interview, man. But I mean, it's interesting because last week we were clowning on Bournemouth in a very jokey way. We were saying there were no easy games in the Premier League except if you play Bournemouth. But then having said that, they've beaten Villa this season.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, listen, this start that they had was you know, I
tough.
mean, let's be honest, man, that's a tough start for any
City,
team.
Liverpool, Arsenal, 3 in a
and
row.
Villa.
And Villa, yeah.
And they've beaten Villa, so, yeah.
Maybe he deserved a bit more time, considering he got them promoted. But
That's what I thought.
I think he's pressed the panic button very quickly.
I'm also hearing there was 1 or 2 fallouts with players and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So maybe the management, the hierarchy looked at it and thought, you know, I mean, the direction of travel is not looking good. And obviously they're desperate to stay in the Premier League. So you can kind of understand why they might have panicked and pressed the eject button a bit early. But, so who do you see coming in?
Well, it's the usual names, isn't it? They're like Big Sam, Sean Dyche, all these guys who are out of work. So when you're in an emergency, they're the man you ring. Innit? So just keep me up. I don't care about the football. Just keep me in the league. But yeah,
it's the Premier League, man. It's the gift that keeps giving. I say it all the time. But watch this space. We'll see what happens, man. I hope Bournemouth get themselves a manager soon. Let's segue into the Europa League. The draw for that took place last week, and I know you were looking forward to some exotic trips abroad, weren't you? Yeah. And I was joking with you that you might get Carabao or one of them, some far-flung places. Yeah. But in the end, what we got? PSV, Holland, Bodo Glimt, Norway, and Zurich, FC Zurich, yeah. So what was your thoughts on that?
I mean, do you know, I was hoping for Monaco for a little couple of nights in Monaco.
Purely footballing reasons.
Just for footballing reasons, you know. But listen, PSV got a lot of pedigree. They've been in the Champions League. Zurich, obviously, don't know too much about them, but, you know, and Bodo Glimt too. I got to be honest, man, like I was like, I've never heard of this team. I mean, apparently they beat Roma 6-1 last year in Europe. They're a fairly new team. They've got a rich owner.
Apparently they're a good team. One of the guys, one of the backroom staff was telling me the other day that they're supposed to be a decent team with some good young players. A lot of scouts from clubs further afield have been watching.
I know they play on AstroTurf.
Oh, right.
Stadium only holds 8,000. It's really small, but yeah. Listen, we should get through.
Cauldron.
Yeah, the cauldron. Listen,
I'm trying to.
Yeah, no. Because if we end up losing to these, man, they're going to.
This might get clipped.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? But listen, we should navigate that group. I got to be honest. We should.
I'm sure the manager will have Martin Odegaard in his office, and he'll be giving him the rundown on Bodo Glimt.
Yeah, exactly.
Likewise with Granit Xhaka on the Swiss team. But yeah. So look, the first game is against Zurich on the 8th of September. Yeah. Second game is PSV the following week on the 15th, and then on the 6th of October, Arsenal host Bodo Glimt. So that's interesting. I mean, listen, you know, without wishing to be too, presumptuous, I would have thought that, you know, we should get through.
Should get through that,
But we'll see, man. So it goes. Couple of things I need to ask you, man. Some real shocking goings on in the world of football. Off the pitch, Paul Pogba, man. I mean, God.
Oh, indeed. I tell you what, that's going to be an interesting Christmas dinner, isn't it? You can open the present and say, what's that? I need about 5 million in my present.
I was going to say, man, with family like that, who needs enemies? Poor old Paul Pogba, man. I mean, like, your brother. I mean, what's going on?
He's making Graham Souness look mild, isn't he? Graham Souness gives him a bit of stick. This brother, man's...
No, but Paul Pogba must have done something in his life that he's... I mean, like... So, basically what it is, you had his childhood friends that have been trying to extort him from the minute he got into professional football, it would appear. Yeah. And then you got your brother, your older brother as well, a guy's supposed to be looking out for you. He's trying to extort you, and now he's threatening to tell. Well, he's not threatening.
He's telling all.
He's actually. Well, is it the truth though?
Well, yeah.
Man's telling man that Paul Pogba was putting witchcraft out on his French teammates. Why would he do that though?
It makes no sense.
It does make no sense to me.
When I read that, I thought, wow, like, and apparently players have been, people have been turning up at the training grounds, threatening him, and
and all that.
Crazy.
You do hear little bits and pieces about players who suffer this stuff, but I must admit, on first hearing it, I actually felt really sorry for Paul Pogba.
I did.
Because like, your childhood friends and your brother, like, I mean, who else do you need to turn to? You know what I mean? You thought the people that would be protecting you are the ones that are trying to bring about your downfall.
And you see a lot of pictures and videos of them all together, so it doesn't look like there's But sometimes I think siblings, family members, they probably feel entitled to what he's got and what he's earned. So yeah, but that's
and it's
crazy.
interesting that on a side note, Cecil, you guys know Cecil G. Cecil. He used to play at Crawley with Paul Pogba's brother, and I mean maybe this is something that you can take away from it. He said, bro, he's not a nice person.
Yeah.
So
hey, Cecil better not say too much, you know.
But you know what it is? I was thinking, if Cecil says that about something, because Cecil's one of those guys who gets on with everyone, and he will find the good in everybody. Yeah. And if he said that to me, I'm kind of taking that serious. And he said, listen, he's not a nice guy. That he just left it like that. So, But hey, man, that was shocking. And another shocking story that I've got to report, Aubameyang. Wow, home invasion, attacked, robbed.
Firearm as well.
Yeah, God, in Barcelona. I mean, unfortunately, we've got more used to hearing about those things in this country, but obviously it's not just the UK, is it?
Yeah.
But it sounds a really shocking
I think it was after the game, and it sounds like they've broke in. I mean,
a number of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, a number of them. And I mean, they said he was all right, but shaken up. I would imagine.
He would be.
That will push him to leave as well. If he was thinking about Chelsea, I think he would have said, we got to get out of here. I remember it happened to Di Maria, and they said that was basically the end of him at Man United. So terrible news, shocking, and obviously...
Particularly sad for Aubameyang, because he's got Spanish heritage, isn't he?
Yeah.
And also, he's always been on the record of saying that he loved to play for, or loved to play in Spain. And so for it to end like this is really sad.
Very
and of course,
sad,
you don't know how mentally traumatised he's going to be from this.
And
this
his
could
family,
be a lot more. Yeah, I mean,
so shocking.
Absolutely shocking, man. I really feel for him and his family. But okay. Moving on again swiftly. Transfer watch. It would appear that Ainsley Maitland-Niles might be on his way to Southampton. Best for both parties.
Yeah, I mean, apparently they've extended his contract by another year. There was a clause in the contract, so then he can go on loan for a season. I don't think he's been in any of the squads. No. So he clearly needs to go and play football. Southampton would probably be... It's a decent breeding ground for younger players and English talent. I think that'll be a decent move for him. I think so. I think he'd be decent. Ward-Prowse and them man there. So
I'm sure he'll get some game time.
Yeah.
And they're a decent team, well managed.
Yeah.
I think that's probably mutually beneficial. He needs to go and get some football.
Go and play,
plus,
definitely.
Arsenal need to get him off the books in terms of wages. Yeah, and I thought this one might interest you. Arsenal. I don't know how this has come about, but it would appear that we've been linked to a move for Wilfried Zaha. Now, personally, I can't quite see it happening. I don't see Palace letting us have him, and I just don't see it working out. But it is a talking point.
Make the deal happen, right? Right the wrong of a few years ago. We signed the wrong Ivory Coast winger, in my opinion. Pepe, good player, but Zaha for me, I'm Wilfried Zaha.
I've got to big you up on that. You've been saying from time that he would fit right.
I mean, listen, I know what you're saying there. Palace wouldn't want to let him go. He's got a year left, and they're a club. They don't like players to just run down their contract and walk. It would be more beneficial for them to get 30, 40 million for him than let him walk out next season. I think with Pepe going, we do need another winger. I know we were linked with Neto, but they're saying that might be too expensive. For me, I would go for it. I know he's 29 and people now have this thing, you're 29, he's too old, but we've got...
Could get a couple of seasons out of him, man.
He's quality player. I think he's electric. He really is, and we've seen it against us before.
He's Premier League tested,
I would definitely
tested, really proven.
And he's a massive Arsenal fan as
well. Yeah, I've heard you say that in the past.
Big Arsenal fan.
So do you think it will happen?
Bring up Vieira, say, listen, Paddy, mate, get that paperwork sorted. We'll give you someone on loan just to settle with it. But no,
that might be what gets the deal through the door. You never know. There might be a player or two that we could offer them in return.
Who would you give them though?
Hector Bellerin.
He might not want that deal.
Man, it's interesting. We'll have to watch this space as it goes. Okay, thanks, bro. That's it for the news and notes. Let's move swiftly on then to match review. Fourth game of the season. Arsenal at home to Fulham, another London derby. Now, coming into this game, Arsenal obviously off the back of a very impressive run. Back-to-back wins, 3 wins 3 games, and people were looking, even though Fulham had made a decent start themselves, I think it was 1 win and a couple of draws.
Yeah.
People were seeing this game as a very, shall we say, winnable game, to put it mildly. A lot of people were expecting us to go there and roll over. We did say that we think it would be a lot tougher than that, and so it proved.
Yeah.
Fair play to Fulham, man. Although Arsenal started well on the front foot, had a lot of the ball, Fulham were very determined in their defending. They're quite an athletic, physical team, lots of runners, very committed, well managed, and they made it difficult. The low block was in effect. Yeah. And it took us a while to break them down, man. I mean, well, when I say that, I mean we actually conceded. Yeah. Mitrovic, who was very impressive on the day. We did say before the game, didn't we, that he was going to be the danger man as far as Fulham were concerned, and so it proved. He seemed to get in Gabriel's head a little bit, to be honest. It seemed like it rattled him.
Oh, definitely. Because you know Gabriel loves a bit of a battle.
Yeah, the argy-bargy
Mitrovic is very, battle ready, and he's strong. I thought he played well.
He did.
I thought he played really well.
Because the thing about Mitrovic as well, he's a big guy. Some would say a lump. I'm not going to say that. But he's not just physical. He can play. He's got skills.
And he broke the record last year, 43 goals in the Championship. Is a big record. But I think you make a great point there in that, as much as we only won the game 2-1, I thought Fulham
you got to give them
really
credit.
Well,
they
do you
did.
know what I mean?
And when they went ahead after, was it 56 minutes with that mistake by Gabriel, I think, oh gosh,
we're going to drop points against these.
This could go wrong, man. You know what I mean? We need a urgent response. And to be fair, I mean, less than 10 minutes later, Odegaard, who I thought was outstanding on the day,
100%.
He pulled one back. Bit fortunate, but he was in the right place at the right time, and he deserved a goal because he was exceptional that day. And then Gabriel himself. What better way to right the wrong than to come up with a winner? And I was so happy that he did that because he would have been thinking, they're going to come after me after that. You know what I mean? But it was a good game, man. Yeah. Good game. Full crowd, and the vibes look good. Yeah. Straight away, I noticed that the crowd, again, very behind the team. That's becoming a common theme of the game so far. What was your thoughts?
For me, I think that was one of the best results of the season. On paper, before the game, obviously, you're thinking Fulham should beat them. But I think that, to me, looked like a game last season we might not have won. I think going 1-0 down, 30 minutes to go, we might have drawn that game or even lost. But I think there is a newfound resilience in the team now. And once we equalised, I always felt like we would find a way of winning it. And listen, I think, Fulham have drawn with Liverpool and they beat Brentford. They're not just going to roll over for anyone. No. It's funny because in the first half, I kept saying, Odegaard, why does he not shoot more? He's got a good left foot, doesn't shoot. He shoots in the second half and scores. And I have to say, I've been a little bit critical of Odegaard. I thought that was one of his best performances in an Arsenal shirt, proper captain's performance. And we ground it out. And I think it's one of them that you tick it off and you kind of move to the next one. But I think you made a good point as well with the fans. Even when Gabriel made the mistake, I saw a lot of fans encouraging him and saying, like, come on, you know what I mean? And obviously Saliba the other week. So I think the vibes are good at the moment. I think that belief is there. And
absolutely.
It was very important.
It's tangible, man. You can feel it. I mean, like I said, Arsenal dominated possession, and that's sort of borne out in the stats. The shots on goal, 22 to Fulham's 11, so that's double what they had. Shots on target, Arsenal 8 to Fulham 3. Possession, 72%, that's big.
Dominant.
You know what I mean? Passes, 595 to their 223. I mean, but that doesn't tell the whole story, because like we said, Fulham were very committed and they defended well.
Very well.
There was a couple of times where they were literally throwing defenders in front of the ball, which was, it was very good to see from their point of view. Some people were saying, tell me what you think about this. Like, some people were saying that given what had happened with that, let's face it was a pretty poor mistake. For him to then come back and get the winner, that he may have been a possible man of the match. But I'd gone for Odegaard.
No, I would agree. I think Odegaard, he bossed the game. I thought we were lacking in midfield without Thomas Partey. I also felt, as much as I do rate Tierney, I think Zinchenko has lifted as a level on the ball.
Interesting.
He's better on the ball than Tierney for me. And I thought Odegaard had to drop deep a lot and get the ball. And for me, like I said, I would say that's up there as one of his best games in an Arsenal shirt, Odegaard.
Yeah, I would say that.
It was brilliant.
Definitely, yeah. He did look the part. And like you said, just like you, I've been critical of him as well. He needs to shoot more. He needs to try and get more goals. I think last season we were comparing his stats to James Maddison. And it was apparent, wasn't it, that Maddison was way out in front in terms of goals and assists and stuff like that. So, it's good to see that he's taking that on board. And, good. Now, so 100% record, come from behind win. At the end of the game, Arsenal were exuberantly celebrating, and that seemed to attract the ire of a few of the old school boys who weren't too happy about it. Souness and was it Richard Keys, and
Simon Jordan, all the usual suspects.
All the usual naysayers. What was your thoughts on it?
Listen, man, celebrate. Who cares what them man
Cool in the gang.
Do you know what I mean?
Cool in the gang.
Yeah, man. Listen, Arsenal, we've been through a lot over the last few years, you know, and we've been critical when they've deserved it. If you win a game, enjoy yourself, celebrate. if they think it's over the top, so what? You know.
Listen, it was a come from behind win, and Arsenal would have known that if they won that game, they would have gone top of the table. So you're just keeping that momentum going.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said earlier on in the piece here, that is a game in years gone by that we could either lost or drawn. So to come back and win like that against a committed opponents, why not?
Yeah, enjoy.
I just don't see what people got this big thing about. People, I mean, over celebrating to me is what Bissouma did a couple of weeks ago.
When he came on for 10 minutes, he's punching the air.
And they got a draw in that game.
Yeah. So, but they don't say anything about
you know what I mean? That is over celebrate.
Yeah.
This was not over celebrating. This was the team coming together, enjoying their moment, and why not? Like I said, they're going to go down in a game they'd been expected to win at home, and they were up against it against a very committed opponent. So.
Do you know what? I've always had this belief that the British media turned on Arsenal during like Arsene Wenger's period, because he kind of was changing the game from George Graham Arsenal, and he brought a lot of foreign players in, and he turned us into a bit of a different team. I kind of think we're not like the media lovey-doveys, like Liverpool point. And Man United and
Tottenham.
And Tottenham, you know what I mean? So listen, man, if they're hating on us, it means we're probably doing something right. So
agreed.
Welcome it.
Okay, then moving on then to our ops of the week. Now this week we have two ops to talk about. We've got two games. First one of those is against Aston Villa.
Steven Gerrard.
Who might be, after the events with Scott Parker, he might be coming into that game with a little bit of apprehension about his own position, although he would never admit it publicly. No. But I'm sure he's looking at that and thinking, you know what I mean? So the Villa game, a night game at home, you would have thought that, you know what I mean, things, the way they play out, Arsenal should win, but could be a difficult game. Yeah. Let's just have a look at Villa, though. That's what I alluded to. They've not had the best of starts. 4 games so far, just 3 points. 1 win against Everton. Defeats to Bournemouth.
Wow.
Crystal Palace and West Ham. I mean, let's be honest, man. There's no real heavy hitters there in those defeats. No. They're currently in 15th place. Now, when you look at some of the players that Villa have got, you know, your Buendias, your Coutinhos, your Danny Ings, the other guy up front, Ollie Watkins,
Leon Bailey.
They've got very good players, so they are definitely underachieving at present.
Yeah.
But you know what it's like in the Premier League, man. Just as you start to write somebody off, we saw it a couple of weeks ago with United. It's the worst United team ever, this and that, they're all rubbish. Yeah. And then what happens? Back-to-back wins, and it's a little bit more rosy in the garden. So Arsenal, who are currently like 100%, nevertheless, you don't want to sleep on Villa, do you? You don't want to go in there thinking, yeah, man, it's a done deal, and then someone like Coutinho pulls it out of the bag. Although I did think the other day he came off injured. I'm not sure if he'd be available for the game against Arsenal. But anyway, my point is they have good players who on any given day can hurt you.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be an easy game, I would have thought.
Yeah.
However, Arsenal are in the kind of form where if they hit the straps early, man, and get an early goal,
maybe could do
Villa are under pressure. It could be a long night for them.
I think Villa now are a bit of a wounded animal. I find this a bit of a dangerous game, Villa. Because, like you said, from the outside, you say they're out of form, we're in form, we should beat them. But they do have a lot of individual quality, like you said, and Coutinho and people like that are match winners.
Absolutely.
But as you say, if we score early and their confidence drops, you feel like maybe we could really punish them. I read that Partey and Zinchenko might be back, which I think we need them back.
But will that cover for the loss of El Neni?
I know what you're trying to do here, and I'm not gonna listen.
But
get well soon. Obviously, you know he's injured.
What is the exact nature of the
do you
injury?
know what? I haven't seen it. I just saw Ornstein put out a report saying out for a significant amount of time, but
it didn't appear that bad on.
It must have happened in training, I would imagine. So obviously, if he's not available, we're going to need Partey back, and I think they need to go into the market. They've got to go and sign a midfielder for me.
That need for Tielemans is becoming ever more apparent.
He's just waiting, isn't he, by the look of it.
But yeah, listen, we hope that Mohamed El Neni makes a quick recovery, because he will be missed. But if the other guys are back, then we're hopeful that they can come back in and do a job. Because, I mean, it has to be said as well that you hinted on it when you talked about Zinchenko. You did see the level drop ever so slightly. I mean, listen, I'm not going to go in hard on Tierney or anything like that, because, you know, I mean, the guy came in, he's done a job, we won the game. But there are a few people saying that we did miss Zinchenko, and you're alluding to that, aren't you?
I think Tierney maybe defensively is a bit more solid, but I think on the ball, Zinchenko for me is like another level above Tierney. Also the fact he can push into midfield and it pushes Granit Xhaka further up. I thought Xhaka had to play a little bit more restricted with Tierney at left back. And for me, if Zinchenko's available and Tierney's available, I'm playing Zinchenko at the moment.
I would say
I think he suits our style of football more. So, but it's good to have them options. They're good options to have.
So if those two coming back, Zinchenko for Tierney, Partey for El Neni, so then you pretty much go with the same team for the other. What's your thoughts on some people are saying Saka hasn't quite hit the straps yet?
He hasn't.
No? Are you worried though? Because I'm not. I saw enough against Fulham. He was trying to be positive. He was trying to take players on. I thought he had a very good first half, actually.
Do you know what I
tailed off a little bit in the second. Well, I thought, you know.
I think what's happened with him now, he's now got that respect from the opposition. So now everyone doubles up on it. They're going, you know what, you can't...
He's got a target on his back now.
So now you've almost got to go up another level in your own game now, because everyone now looks at you as a danger. So I think he's got to be, sometimes for me, Saka, a little bit predictable. I think runs down the line, wants to get back on the left foot. I think sometimes you've got to move people a little bit more.
Sure.
But I'm not worried. I think, you know, he's been player of the season 2 years in a row. Looks to have a little bit of an understanding with Jesus as well. So I think he'll get there. Probably needs a goal, and then maybe it'll start flowing. I also think the lack of competition isn't good for him. I think, you know, now Pepe's gone, Saka knows, listen, if I'm fit, I'm playing. There's no question. I'm playing right wing, no doubt. And I think...
Even when Pepe was here.
He's still playing anyway. So this is why I'm saying, you know, a Zaha, a Neto, somebody I think needs to come in and say, listen, you're a top player, but you still need to be hungry and understand that you're fighting for that place. So
Zaha or Neto, if you had the choice, which one? Because I know you're big on both of those.
You know, I'm taking Zaha. I know a lot of people wouldn't, because people are looking long term, and you'd say, oh, Neto's a lot younger, but I'm just looking at the here and now, I think. Because he's older, you got Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Saka, they're all young wingers. Zaha's a bit more experienced, so yeah, I would go for Zaha.
And he's more of a goal threat as well.
And I think he'd be cheaper as well, because of the year
like
on his deal.
He's a big Arsenal fan, so all those things would help. But yeah, I think Saka does need a really good game to get him back up to where he was. But maybe, you know what I mean, there's a lot of expectations on his young shoulders there. Maybe he's a victim of his own success a little bit, being so outstanding in previous seasons. But listen, in the first half, I thought he looked bright. I thought he looked positive. He was looking to try and make those runs, take people on. Didn't quite happen, but, you know.
I think he'll get there.
I think he'll get there, man. Yeah, I'm confident. What do you think of Martinelli's performance?
Again, I think he's trying hard and running around a lot. I think I've always said, and I've said this time and time again, you know, Pep said with Foden, at City that he needs to learn to play at different speeds. Everything can't be 100 miles. And I think Martinelli's a bit like that. Everything is bang, bang, bang. I think he's got to be able to slow down a little bit and make things happen. But
excellent point.
again, I'm not panicking. Similar to Saka, I think, another goal, good performance. But he has got Smith Rowe breathing down his neck on that left-hand side. So his is a bit different to Saka.
Would you like to see Smith Rowe get a look in at some point?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But I would go with Martinelli and Saka again against Villa.
I wouldn't make any changes. I wouldn't make any changes. We spoke about the guys that are coming in, but they would have been in but for injury.
Yeah.
So with those two coming back, you're saying play that same team that started the season. Go for it. So what do you reckon then? Score against Villa?
I'm going to go for 3-1.
3-1. You reckon they'll score, do you?
I think they'll get a goal. They've got decent attackers, so I'll give them one. But I do think, I watched them the other day against West Ham, they were awful. And their defence looks like it can be got at. Tyrone Mings, he took the armband off him. He looks a little bit like all over the place. I think they can be got. I think we'll score. Although it's interesting, Emi Martinez in goal. He'll always be trying to prove a point against Arsenal. But I'm going to go for a 3-1 win.
3-1 win. I'm going to go with a 2 clear goal difference, but I don't think they'll score.
Oh, so 2-0 really.
2-0. Yeah, I'm going 2-0. But I do think we'll win. I think Villa will come and they will be better than they've shown in some of their previous performances. But I just think that also the way we're playing at the moment, the vibes and everything else, I can't see us losing to Villa at all, to be honest. So that's that. And more pressure for Stevie G.
Gerrard, mate,
is what I'm predicting. Whether it will happen that way or not, I don't know.
So
that was the first of our ops of the week, and then
it's the big ops on the weekend.
It's the big ops at the weekend. The big ops. Man United, few days away, and they've got a game in between then. So, we've got to say that. But Man United, that's an interesting one because, as I said earlier in the show, the first couple of games, people were saying, is this the worst United team of all time? And, you know what I mean? And get rid of this, get rid of that. And all sorts were going on. They've steadied the ship since with 2 wins. The game against Liverpool, I have to admit, they did look good in that game. They were very... But I noticed again in the game against Southampton, which was their following game, they didn't quite replicate the same intensity, did they?
No, they didn't.
They struggled a little bit. In fact, some people said they were a little bit fortunate against Southampton.
You find sometimes, don't you, players lift it for a big game. Liverpool, they then went to Southampton, it looked a little bit flat. And I think Southampton could have got a draw out of that at least. But this United game now is much harder. They've made 2 big signings as well. Casemiro, they've signed this Anthony for about 90 million, 100 million. So I don't know whether he'll be available.
Well, if he looks as good as some of the clips I've seen on YouTube.
Yeah, he's a bit of a YouTube sensation, isn't he? He's got
a street baller, You've seen the one where he does a little circle with a ball?
The guy, He is skillful, he is. And it will be a hard game. I don't think we've ever gone to Old Trafford and just thought, we'll roll them. They always kind of lift their level for us. The rivalry in the 90s and that. So it'll be a tough game, but I still think we should go there thinking that we can beat them. I think they're beatable.
It's interesting though, isn't it, that they've been so poor and then just this we coming to play
and starts going together a bit.
Raising the levels again. So it was just so obvious that was going to happen. But it is what it is. So you're still confident?
I am. I mean, it'll be interesting because obviously the window closes this week. Will Ronaldo still be there by Sunday or not? There's talk of him going to Lisbon. I think Lisbon have offered him like part ownership of the club and that they can't pay the wages, so they've said, have some of the club. So if he's there,
player owner.
Player owner.
You've not seen that before.
So it'll be interesting. But listen, I still think United are there to be got at. Defensively, I still think we can trouble them. But I think that'll be a tight game. I think it'll be a lot closer.
I'm going to throw something at you here, and I don't want to be negative, but given the way things are going at the moment, if you got out of there with a draw, would you take it? Or do you think we've got to go there and nail them?
No, listen, you have got to go there and nail them, but you've also got to be realistic. We've got 2 games in 4 days. If we beat Villa and drew with United, I would take that. If you offered me that right now, I would take it. But obviously, we want 2 wins, but if you offer me a win and a draw, I would take it.
I would not see that as failure if we go there and don't win.
No, not at all.
Because it is, regardless of what you say about United, they are a big team. They do have big players, and they will be highly motivated.
Definitely.
It will be their biggest game of the season and ours, so that's a real clash. Well, actually,
after the Liverpool,
but our biggest game of the season so far. So if you can go there, especially away from home, and pick up a point or 3, you know what I mean? It's all good. But I'm not expecting that game to be a walk in the park, regardless of what happens to them in the meantime. So
the interesting thing is as well, we play Wednesday, they play Thursday. And they're away from home as well at Leicester. So
that's right.
Will that extra 24 hours make a bit of a difference that we've got a bit more energy than them? So you never know.
It's interesting, man. But whatever happens, it's a massive game.
Massive, absolutely massive.
Massive game. And it's almost one of those games that I'm thinking that the games that precede that game won't really affect what's going to happen on that game too much.
Yeah, not too
much. For us, you can look at it and say another win, our confidence levels will be high, but they're high anyway. Yeah. And again with United, you know, they've had those 2 wins. So obviously the Guardian's a little rosier. But regardless of what happens against Leicester, Arsenal coming to town is a whole different proposition.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What about the team? Would you look?
I mean, I suppose some of it depends on the Villa game and the performances, but at the moment, I think that's our strongest team at the moment. The interesting thing is really that Ben White's still at right back, because I thought after a week or 2 of Tomiyasu, Ben White would be out, but he's actually played really well at right back. I thought he did really well against Fulham. So I think at the moment that's our strongest team.
Do you think it's like Saliba coming into the team and doing so well has kind of lifted the defenders around?
Yeah, because I think whatever position you play, if somebody comes in that same position and starts balling, you know, like you might go gym for an hour after training, you might take a few, you think this guy's putting me under pressure, I need to lift it, and Saliba's just been different class, hasn't he, since he came in.
Now this is a big game for the manager especially against United, so we're going to United, so he's going to have to tinker with his tactics, I would have thought, slightly. How do you expect him to address that game from a tactical viewpoint?
I think, as we see in the home games, he wants to dominate possession, 72% against Fulham. I think you go to United, you won't have as much of the ball, so we've got to maybe be a little bit more patient.
Give them the ball.
Go on, have the ball, Rashford, and then when they drop it, then you go for them, you know. I know Lisandro, they were calling him, you know, little tiny Lisandro, and then he's had 2 good games, so... but listen, I still think United can be got at. I still think if you can go 1-0 up, Old Trafford might turn on them a little bit. You know, they're still singing. They
still haven't got over it completely.
No, they're still singing Glazers out. There's still unrest. You know, Ten Hag's still being questioned. You got the Ronaldo soap opera going off. So I still think they're there to be beaten if we can turn up and put in a performance.
That's a performance. So do you expect him to, like we said, just?
I think be a little bit more patient, and then when you get the ball, really go for the counter-attack. We got pace in that front line as well. Jesus as well. So
yeah, man, sounds good. Would be remiss of me not to ask you for a prediction.
Score prediction. I mean, listen, it wouldn't surprise me if it's a draw, but you know, I'm going to say we can win 2-1. I think if the week works out for us, I think, you know, beat Villa. Have the 24 hours rest, get in a signing or 2 on Thursday. You never know, maybe Vardy, you know, does something on Thursday. He's got bills to pay at the moment, hasn't he? You know what I mean? Maybe
he gets that goal bonus.
Maybe he gets a goal or 2 against United.
A 3 million hole in the family budget that needs to be. The cost of living's gone up.
Inflation.
And when you're losing court cases, you've got to, you know.
So hopefully, but I'm going to go for 2-1. Why not? I think we can go there and beat them.
I'm going to bring the Desmond back.
You're in Desmond 2-2.
2-2, I'm bringing the Desmond back for this game.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm still optimistic, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
I get you.
So I'm not going to go all out there and predict to win, because I do realise how difficult a game United is away. Even when we're playing well normally, and they're not playing so well, they seem to get a result against us. So I'm keeping all that in mind. But I am quietly confident. It's just that I'm, you know, maybe because you've gone for the win, I'm gonna keep it level a little bit.
Add some balance.
So yeah, man, great. Coming to the concluding end of the show. If there's anything else you want to say out there?
Listen, top of the league, flying high. One thing I will say, Edu, listen, turn the barbecue off. Get on your phone. We need 2 more signings for me. I want to see a winger and a midfielder come in this week.
And they would be?
I mean, the obvious one would be Tielemans because he's there. I would like somebody like a Milinkovic-Savic, but that's big money. I don't think Arsenal are going to spend that. If they got Tielemans and Zaha, I'd be delighted with them. I'd really would, and I don't think that's overly expensive either. So yeah, a couple.
I must admit, the Zaha thing come out of nowhere, but reading between their lines, it does seem that there might be something to it. So we'll see what happens. Certainly the Tielemans has been there for a while. So I would agree with you. Let's try and get those done as the transfer window is approaching closing. So yeah. Listen, bro, thank you so much for coming in and airing your forthright and erudite opinions as usual. We also had the benefit of young Cruz in the house here. Big up Cruz. Congratulations to him on his goal scoring effort today against Luton. And thank you guys for tuning in as normal and making this show what it is. We want the show to be interactive, so continue to send us your opinions and your thoughts on all the things we spoke about. What do you think about the game against Villa and the one Man United coming up? Do you think we can make it a double? How do you think the team's getting on so far? Let us know your thoughts, opinions. Keep watching, keep supporting, like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. We're out.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.